Hello and welcome to another update video on XRP. XRP has been just moving sideways over the weekend. I only want to focus here on the shorter time frame. Bigger picture, there has been no change, but I think we could get a little bit more volatile price action as we're heading towards the weekly candle close, of course. So typically late on Sunday we get some action, and there are the base case. I mean, what's the base case? Let's talk about the base case first, because this allows us to understand. What the relevant trend is like and what the support levels are, and which support levels basically need to hold to keep the current trend intact. Right, the trend is up. Trend is up, especially here from the June low, and then we had obviously the 5-wave move up from the. Don't know why I've got a couple of levels. Delete that. Oh no, hold on. Just gotta remove here the more number. Okay, I mean, we do have 5 waves up from the April low, so that was our, let's say, bullish thesis anyway. And then we had a corrective pullback, and the price landed in the support region. So it's a basic 1-2 setup that formed there. And now it could indeed be in a third wave to the upside, which, I mean, it might have topped, but it's a bit short for this third wave of this particular wave degree, and therefore preference would be for the market to go a little bit higher, yeah, and get basically one more high in this third wave, which would be circle wave 5 of wave 3, and the current pullback, or you could say consolidation, is seen as a wave 4. Wave 4s are normally relatively weak, mild, yeah, more like sideways oriented. Doesn't mean they don't go down. Of course, you get a move down, like a counter trend move, right? That's a counter trend move in an uptrend. But as long as the pullback is corrective in nature, which means it's a 3-wave move, the overall focus can remain on higher prices. And that's what we're doing, right? So we need to understand what is actually the relevant support. And I can tell you that support is already visible on the chart. It's $2.75 to $3.20, even though that 320 level is broken. That's not a problem. We've reached the ideal, normally what we would call the ideal target level for a fourth wave. There, in this case, at $2.94 or $2.95. That's the 38.2 retracement. And that is normally what really, really matters, because this level is like a magnet often for a wave 4. So we reached it. Technically, that means I wouldn't have a problem with the price like going up from here, but then we have to pay very, very close attention to the microstructures. And of course, it's a correction. So in a correction, there are always various pathways the market could take, more complex pathways, more basic pathways. And what we see here in this case is that the market hasn't given us any indication, no evidence at all, that a low indeed has formed already. Because what do we need to see? We need normally a 5-wave advance and a break above resistance. So what we haven't seen yet is that 5-wave advance, and we also haven't seen a break above resistance yet. So as long as we don't get a break above our resistance area here, $3.58 in 5 waves, there is technically no evidence really that a low has indeed formed. It's only like a sideways consolidation pattern, like a, I don't know, triangle maybe even, yeah? So what we need to understand here is that we're holding support, but we don't have any evidence a low is in. And that means we have to consider the correction might extend. And I see 2 pathways. The first one is, this is an A wave, this is a B wave, C wave is still playing out, and we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 as a triangle, and then another low. Triangle, I like the idea. It means, however, the market needs to stay below that last swing high there around 325 to keep that triangle scenario alive. Could be followed by one more low, and then we have a full C wave of wave 4, and ideally early next week, we see a rally. The other scenario is that we might get a break above 325. In that case, I would interpret the move up as a B wave, basically just a corrective bounce, which could be a 3-wave move. As long as it's only a 3-wave move, like a corrective bounce, another low in wave C is likely. At least we have to prepare for another move down, like a C wave down, before we go higher. So those are the 2 pathways that I see. That being said, these are the two pathways that I see as likely until we get an impulsive upside reversal. Because if there is now any 5-wave move up, then we have to assume trend is continuing to the upside. So basically, all this analyzing, all this understanding of microstructures is more for educational purposes here, because what is really actionable is support. We're currently in support, and as long as we're holding 275, the overall trend is up. Below 275, we have to start to think about different scenarios. I mean, we already have these different scenarios, but those will become more probable below that pivot, below the 275 level. And that would be a broader wave 4. Yeah, I'm talking about the daily chart now. This is where we would need to think about, has actually this wave 4 ever bottomed? You know, was the low in April maybe only an A wave of the wave 4? Or have we really bottomed in the wave 4? If we really bottomed, we should soon see continuation to $3.84 next, or $4.33. That's the update on XRP. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. I also invite you to check out our membership options today at 5 p.m. UTC. That's just like 3 hours from now. We have our member live stream every week. We do that. It will prepare you for the week. You can request coins. I can never cover them all, but we typically cover around 40 charts. Plus, there's usually some education in there. Also, you get access to our member-only updates. So there are some video bonus updates as thank you for members. Today I covered Kronos, Pepe was done yesterday, and so on. You can also check out our Gold membership. It gives you access to our Discord server. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.